Sige.
Yeah.
Mike, ready ka na.
Are those two different people?
To our side of the family naman, hindi rin siya 100% approve.
Oo nga, bakit?
Walang pera yan, anak. So parang,
Oo nga. Ano ipapakain sa'yo niya?
Exactly.
maling-mali yung buhay ko before eh.
Tell me about it.
Well,
Kasi maling-mali sa buhay.
Game.
Rolling po ako.
Okay, game. Pastor. Should I call you Pastor?
No, no need. Just Joe.
Yeah. But of course, that's what you are, right?
I'd feel better if you didn't. So if you're asking my preference, okay lang. But if you feel the need to, okay lang naman.
At bago tayo magpatuloy, mag-subscribe naman kayo, paki-click ito, mag-like na rin, at kung may suggestion kayo ng kausapang Reel with Luchi, put it down in the comment section and we'll do our level best to get it for you. Okay, tell me, how did you fall in love with Rica Peralejo?
It's not hard.
Yeah, of course I know.
Okay.
You're so pretty. I mean, there's no doubt about it. She looks so much better in person, I have to tell you. Even better in person. But anyway, how did the love story start?
We were at a church event, and then the church I was attending at the time invited this young up-and-coming star. I'm not sure if you've heard of him. Piolo Pascual. But we invited him to
Are you
share.
kidding me?
And he's very, very generous with his time.
Crush ko yun.
and
Sabihin
his-
mo naman pa-interview.
But he's very generous with his time and happy to share about his own journey and his faith in God. So, yeah, he came and he brought a few of his celebrity friends.
Oh, really?
So, si
So
Sam...
how old were you then?
ano ba tayo? Siguro
23?
And you
I was
were
23.
already a
23,
pastor?
25 ako.
The term was more specifically like campus missionary, like someone
I
who
see.
works with the students,
Okay.
with student ministry. And so, Sam Milby was there, and she was there. And that's the first time na I saw her in person. And like you said, very pretty in person.
Diba, no?
I mean,
Diba?
on screen naman, definitely, pero much more so. And we didn't really talk that much that day. Pero, she's just, parang tao na siya sa'yo. There's celebrities kasi are larger than life eh. And then, what happened? We had common friends who would invite us to stuff. And then, nagka-develop na talaga kami nung natagpuan namin yung this is gonna date us, but our blogs.
Multiply.
Oo,
Do you
multiply.com.
remember that? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we would
Right.
write our thoughts and stuff. Yun yung parang
Wala namang
blog.
pera sa social media dati. So,
Yeah,
you're
it was
just
not.
really writing for yourself, for
True.
10, 15 friends. Parang ganon.
Yeah.
And then there, I discovered hers and she discovered mine. And it was like internet pen pals.
Nagka-developan.
Oo. Ganun talaga.
How did that
That's
develop
true.
for you?
Well, to me, you know how artistas are to other people na parang, okay, ano lang yan, just a figure.
Yes.
That's kind of the same for me when it comes to like pastors na parang hindi sila real to you na okay pastor yung ganon. Even if you had a crush on a pastor, it's like it's not gonna happen because it's like magkaiba yung mundo ninyo, ganon. But for me, I think he became more real to me when we started connecting nga sa mga vlogs kasi bata pa lang ako, mahilig na ako yung hilig ko talaga tumabi sa matatalino. So fascinated with people who just knew so much, who are very informative, very intelligent, ganyan.
Yeah.
So that was my character and then all of my crushes. So Doogie Howser, MD, Egon
Parang,
of
mental
Ghostbusters.
stimulation to.
Parang na-realize ko lang siya nung tumanda na ako na, ba't ang hilig ko sa character na matalino? Parang ganon.
Yeah.
And that is exactly who this guy is kasi na parang you married Wikipedia. Hindi naman.
Wow,
pero, I mean,
talaga, Mr. Wiki.
parang you ask
Be
him
careful what
stuff.
you wish for. Mahirap yung know it all din. So,
Hindi, tsaka crowdsourced na ano.
But he knew so much, and I think for me personally, I just needed a person that I could look up to, and then also would believe almost everything that he says. Because I have a very dominant personality, strong. My mom's very strong, so parang ganun din ako na you can survive without a guy, ganyan. So I needed a very strong kind of guy also to fall in love with. And maybe that's why I got attracted to him. Kasi when I would read his thoughts, parang sabi ko, grabe, ang tali-talino nitong tao na to. You know, when you date a lot of people, you also don't have connection with some of them na parang ilang beses ka na nagsalita,
Hindi
parang
pa magets.
wala, hindi talaga, mabait naman, guwapo, or di kaya, whatever, di ba? Good person, pero wala talagang connection. So I guess for us, more than the talino, it's like, we really have the same value for a lot of things.
I think what would happen, kasi nga, parang magkaiba kami ng mundo. So,
Yeah.
I would be talking to my friends and we wouldn't speak for maybe 2-3 months apart. Yung, wala, busy lang. Busy siya sa shoot, di ba? The world, the showbiz world. I don't think I really didn't realize until I met her how time intensive it is for you guys in production. How so much of your time is taken up by this. So, very jealous kayo of your private time na ito na nga lang yung akin. So, we wouldn't talk for 2-3 months at a time. But when we would speak, parang may sparks talaga, may chemistry. Like we would end up chatting till late at night. Or
Pero we can talk for like forever.
Pero hindi pa kayo mag-on at this point.
Hindi pa, wala.
You would just
hindi
really
na
talk
namin
as
maamin
friends.
sa sarili namin. Kasi
Kasi
parang,
it took so impossible.
Yeah.
Parang gano'n yung, talaga ba? Parang possible ba to na ako at saka siya? Yung
Why
gano'n.
would that be impossible?
no, it's
I mean,
just like for me,
very, very different worlds kasi,
someone
so-
in ministry, you would think, okay, yung para sa'yo would be someone na sobrang active sa church.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, who volunteers where you're volunteering.
kasi dapat equally yoked, mga ganyan.
Ganyan, correct.
Yeah.
But that's making our careers the most important parts of us. Same thing with her, di ba? Like,
Right.
para sa
Should
kanya, yun,
end up
showbiz
with
dapat.
super
Oo.
showbiz or mayaman, businessman, whatever, di ba? Parang
Yes.
the usual, ganun.
Yeah.
So it kind of crept up on us, honestly. Because we didn't think na it's a serious thing.
So how did it become? I mean,
More
what was,
than just
what was
friends.
the moment that actually got you to
Well, that's the
decide?
thing.
I think he's the one or she's the one.
Yun nga, it crept up on us na we're finding ourselves enjoying each other's company more and more.
I think a defining point for me na alam ko na siya talaga is yung when he laid down his intentions for me. And that was yung ano pa lang to yung na I want to get to know you better and more than a friend.
Yung hindi na pa-cute, basically.
ganon.
Yung hindi na pa-chat-chat lang.
Yeah.
Pero
Kaya ko
may plano
commitment
ako
na,
dito.
yeah.
Oo. Kung okay lang sa'yo.
Oo, kaya ko nalaman yun kasi before that, sobrang parang ang dami na niyang ginagawa for me na feeling ko, ako na lang ba to na nag-a-assume or but I really feel something na I think he really, really likes me. And now, I can admit to myself that I am falling for this. But based on my experience kasi, and at that time also, medyo ito na yung nagto-turn around na ako na nag-iibang tao na ako. Kasi I was really regretful about the decisions I made in the past and like how I was in the past. And I wanted to change that. Kasi maling-mali yung buhay ko before eh. na
Tell me about it.
well,
Anong maling-mali sa buhay?
Game.
I mean, I'll be honest, Rica. I mean, laging ganito Like, dito pa lang, sino interviewin mo next? Neto, si Rica, tsaka yung asawa niyang pastor. Si Rica, di ba sexy star yun?
yes, exactly. I mean, that life. But even more than that, kasi the sexy star is just the image. And like
It's
the
like the
movies
tip
that
of
I
the
made.
iceberg, eh.
But
Oo.
like underneath, like I was also so troubled. I had no direction. And my idol in my life was just work. That I would do anything for work. And because I knew in my heart na hindi yun yung tama, maglalasing ako, magpa-party
wow,
ako.
really?
Yeah, I mean like, Ewan ko nga, bakit hindi alam yun? Baka wala kasing social media dati. Thank you. Oo nga. Buti na lang. Hindi
Kung ngayon nangyari
huli
yan,
yung mga
tapos ka
pinaggagawa
na.
ko. Diba? Pero parang,
Na-blind item ka lang, pero walang viral
sobrang
post.
bad. And even with relationships,
Really?
na parang sabi ko, Lord, and at that time, kakakilala ko lang kay God, na parang, Lord, bigyan mo naman ako ng direction. Hindi ako nagbago for nothing, na basta na lang I'll give my heart away to anyone na magustuhan ko, di ba? Without really thinking, without wisdom, I want you to be in this with me. So when I was feeling that, I was praying, sabi ko, God, tomorrow, I already said yes to him, yes to meeting him. Kasi parang he asked me if he could meet me, ganon-ganon. Sabi ko, after that last na, wala na yun ha. Hindi na masusundan yun because I know that I'm already falling for this guy and this guy is not saying anything to me. And if I keep falling and falling and falling na unstoppable na, baka I will make very unwise decisions. So, ganun lang kasimple. Nagpray lang ako, tomorrow is the last day. I meet him on that day, the next day, and that was the day he picked to tell me that he wanted to be serious with me.
Talagang meeting of
By
by the grace of God.
Yeah, okay. Sabi ko, so Lord, talagang you really wanted me to know na you're in this with me. Kasi,
Meeting of souls.
oo, di ba? So, yun lang. Parang for me, I just knew that this was one sign that God really is with me in this new chapter of my life.
Right. Tsaka magpa-pastor's wife, that's not a joke.
Although at the time, hindi kasi din na...
Hindi pa siya
ko na-
pastor, I know.
At
But
hindi ko rin na-realize na
yeah.
parang that's what it meant. Because I was like so clueless about the whole thing. Sabi ko, alam mo, pag nag-pastor's wife ako, that means I will live a very quiet life. Famous last words.
So hindi requirements because you were a Christian and you were not just a Christian. You were a leader Christian. I mean,
Okay.
you were running a ministry and you were so committed to it. I would imagine that one of your first requirements of someone to marry would be fully, with God, of God, for God,
that-
for Jesus, diba?
That was a complication. And there
How?
were people in my life
Yes.
who were very worried about me marrying her.
There you go. That was what I
And-
wanted to ask. Wala bang nag-object?
Oh, yeah.
Mayroon.
Objection!
Meron
Meron.
talaga, lalo na given the kind of past that I had, and it was pretty public.
Yeah.
So parang lahat sila, really? Parang, no, not for Joe, ganon.
So,
How did you overcome? I
Well-
mean, the public opinion, sabi na natin, di ba? Parang, bakit si Rica Peralejo?
is that our sound?
Ay, sorry.
Yes, it's okay.
Okay, alright, sige. Okay.
Okay.
Ang bait naman, oh. Ang cute naman. Kasi sinabi niya that you,
You have
should
to
do
get some
this,
downstairs. Yeah.
X number of Legos, and X number of...
Okay, anyway. let's
Anyway,
go.
we were talking about the public opinion that
Yeah.
surrounded your, relationship. We'll start with your family. How did your family take to Rica Peralejo?
My brothers were cool with it. My brothers
Okay.
were like, finally, good for you, you're choosing someone well, ganun. My parents had a difficult time.
Yeah.
Very difficult time.
Okay.
And-
Anong issue nila?
Two parte. One was her past, na what are you doing? And then, there were times in the past where, ito naman kasalanan ko, there were times in the past na pag feeling ko, gusto ko yung isang tao, kahit na hindi siya magandang idea or wise idea, yung parang natitrigger yung pride ko, na I'll show you all na, I can make this work. Ako naman ikakasal, hindi kayo eh. Parang ganun. So my parents got super concerned na may ganun side ako. Kasi hindi naman sila sanay sa ganun. Ever since ako yung compliant, ganun. Pero pag sa girls, parang nababaliw pala si Joe. Parang ganun. So may ganun. So when I said I like Rica Peralejo, eto na naman. Parang that's what they thought it was. Everyone could only see the superficials eh. Artista, dating sexy star, komplikado yung buhay mo. So, kaya mo ba yan? But like we always say when we talk to couples, it's you will always be different.
Yeah.
You will always be different. But that's why you need to be the same in the most important parts. if you're the same in the core parts of your being, which is, let's say, your faith, the way you tackle life's problems, the way you agree to reconcile,
The way you're committed.
the way
I
you're
mean,
committed
like,
to the same level in the relationship.
yung level of commitment kasi talaga, parang that's so important.
Yeah.
That's gonna keep you going for a very, very long time, diba? Till death do us part. Because that's the decision you make until the day you die. Na, I'm committed to this no matter how hard it gets. I mean, that's the vow, essentially. So, parang when you're looking for someone, and I think in the back of my head, that's what I was looking for also, na parang, sino ba yung who will stand by my side no matter what happens? Kasi hindi na joke yung magpakasal. Pwede po tayo magpa-cute sa dating. Pero pagkasal na tayo, you'll see all of me and we'll have all of the problems in the world together.
Yeah.
Di ba?
Right. Well, the problem was, yun na nga, yung parents niya mismo.
The funny thing.
Okay, how did it feel? Did you know then that, people he loved didn't quite
Of course.
prefer you
You can't
for
naman
him?
hide that eh.
And I super feel things. I know, I super know how to read the room. So, when I enter a room, I know if I'm not liked, na parang, okay, hindi nila ako gusto dito. Ganyan.
So how did you react?
I don't know. Honestly, I think it's just God who gave me the grace to understand that, these are parents. These are people who are so concerned for my husband that they just really want the best for him.
You
Ganun
never
ko lang-
thought about walking away?
No, that's so weird that I did not because I usually would. Yung parang sa akin, ayaw nyo sa akin, di ba? Ganyan. But at that time, I was like, I really understand them. I'd probably be the same to my kids na parang if I don't like someone, I'd be like,
But
diba yung
naman,
parang
hindi sumama loob mo.
hindi ako sumama yung loob at that time. Pero yung nakakatawa dyan, Miss Luchi, kahit sa side ko, hindi rin siya 100% approve.
Oo nga, bakit? Bakit naman?
Okay, kasi...
Di ba, Christian, no?
Okay.
Ang talino pa.
Well,
O kamukha pa ni Boy Abunda. Anong objection nila?
Iba-ibang value system
Kasi,
po kasi yan eh.
iba-ibang
diba?
value system nga. That's the perfect term. Kasi, to our side of the family naman, syempre, Catholic. They don't understand what evangelicals look like.
And to be
And
fair,
they're like,
That's true.
ano to? Di ba parang...
Oo, mga born against.
Oo,
Di ba ganun?
yeah, that's
Like,
the problem.
what
There have been some practices kasi by evangelicals that are attacking or disrespectful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Instead of emphasizing na lang faith in Jesus,
Yeah.
di ba? Thank God for loving us and making us and we are His children. So, we can focus naman on the more important things.
Right.
Anyway, so isa yun.
So, yun.
That's my family na, okay, why? Like a pastor? And then, the second thing was, walang pera yan, anak. So parang,
Oo nga. Ano ipapakain sa'yo niya?
Exactly,
Tapos yung car pa niyo
And
yung
it's a
time
fair
na yun.
question. It's
Yes,
a fair
it
question.
is.
Yung
Or
car-
for the record kasi, di ba, pastors, I mean, where do they get their income? It's really contributions from the church.
when he was courting me and like we were dating and all, his ride was, of course, this is not to demean anyone who has a Tamaraw FX, but syempre, when people are looking at you and they see you naka-Tamaraw FX ka,
First generation.
I didn't,
First generation.
Yeah, yung
Oo,
original light
classic
blue.
yun.
Light
Yes.
blue. Ang ganda kaya nun.
I actually
Nagmamayabang
enjoyed
pa ngayon
it.
eh.
I super enjoyed it kasi it was my first time to have a car na parang, uy, pwede ka mag-haul ng kung ano-ano. Ganon. So, super enjoy ko siya, ganyan.
Really, Rica?
Yeah.
Ay, it gets
Tamaraw.
worse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or better, depending on your perspective.
Yeah, kasi, okay, so first, yon parang in my mom's mind, parang, can't you do better? And then at the time also, I was like, saying no to a lot of the roles na binibigay sa akin. So that's like a lot of income going
She was focused on her studies
away,
kasi.
diba? Nag-study na ako, tapos nag-shift ako sa news and current affairs na parang yung nanay ko, ano ba itong nangyayari sa anak ko, naloloka na. Parang tinatalikuran ang popularity, ang fame, ganyan. Tapos nag-marry pa ng pastor na nakatama raw FX. Diba? So, parang hindi niya maintindihan what was going on. But in my heart, I knew that I was doing, for the first time in my life, I actually am doing the right thing.
Did you intentionally leave behind the sexy image?
Oh, yeah.
Did you make a deliberate effort to veer away from it for him or for
no.
God? Or,
Not for him. Only for God, but for myself. Like, I knew that, I never really wanted to do this anyway. Kasi when I was offered sexy roles before, my first question was, Ako? Alam mo yun, parang, ako talaga ang barok-barok ko. My personality just didn't fit the whole sexy image thing. Because I didn't move.
I wouldn't have known that if you hadn't told
Exactly.
me.
She's an excellent actress.
I mean, I'm not an excellent. I'm a worker. Like if you tell me you need to do this, I will be there 150%.
Okay.
So if you told me you're sexy now, okay, sure. We'll do that. Ganon ako. Kasi pag trabaho, walang artihan. Kasi lalo na sa generation namin, parang, pasalamat ka, may trabaho ka. And at the same time, parang sa akin, yung parang malito, may ganon. Pero very conflicting. Kasi syempre, all the forces around me also are like, hindi okay lang yan. Kasi, this is your path. This is what's meant for you. And then you really are earning money. And then you go out
That's
and
how
you're
you
like,
justified
everybody
it.
claps.
Right, yeah.
Diba? So parang ikaw, okay naman. Parang kumikita naman tayo dito. Diba? It's more like that. But deep down inside, I knew something was wrong. Kasi dinadrown ko na siya ng different things. That's why nga I was an alcoholic
you
at
were
some point.
drinking.
Because I really couldn't fathom what I was doing, plus the fact that personality-wise, it was so far from who I am. Kasi there are people who are like, talagang they like the parang looking sexy and all. I'm super barok. Sobrang barok ko na...
camper nga eh.
Ayun nga.
Mountaineer pa.
Kahit nung bata ako, my mom's problem with me was like, pwede ka ba maging prim and proper? Di ba babae ka? I-close mo nga yung legs mo, ganyan. Kasi I was like, ganon, malikot. Kiti-kiti, ganon. So I really couldn't connect na parang ba't kaya ako yung napiling maging sexy pero thank you na lang, meron akong trabaho. It was really that conflict.
Okay, what about you? Was there a conflict in having chosen someone who wasn't pure, who had a, stained image, if you will?
Yeah, I grew up with a lot of teaching about sexual purity, sexual immorality. But I'm grateful for the way it was taught to me by my dad, by my mom, and yung like Pastor Rica, who were teaching us, you're doing this for God. It's not just out of our expectations, and it's not like it makes you God's gift to womanhood, just because you're doing this. It's for you and God. And so I didn't have, I noticed kasi with other people who grew up with that kind of teaching, it created hang-ups. Yun nga, that thought of someone stained, the Bible says we're all stained. We're all sinners. So just because I was a virgin when we got married, it doesn't mean I'm not a stained person either. We all need God's grace. So that her past wasn't an issue to me. Some people, well-meaning people in my life, thought it might be. And so they were like, alamin mo muna yung mga ginawa niyo dati. Parang ganon. Yung
Ganon.
Yeah.
And,
Anong sagot mo sa mga ganon?
well, at a certain point kasi sometimes, the more you fight, the more, when someone's very anxious and you resist them, they get more anxious eh. So parang...
Nag-harden.
Oo. So parang, sige, you can say it. I'll take the time.
Yeah.
But even in seeing her in those roles or those interviews, parang hindi ito yung Ricang kausap ko ngayon eh. People are allowed to change and God has the power to change people.
I think that's also the difference na I have changed kasi. Siguro kung wala namang mark of change, it would be very hard for him to consider.
To trust, di ba? Parang ano bang value system ng taong to?
Because it really shook up, those who know you, no?
Oh yeah.
Which is the whole
even the
movie
diba?
watching and TV watching.
Exactly. I mean, like, I remember being interviewed so many times na parang talaga, hindi pa kayo nagkikiss. Sabi ko, hindi pa talaga. Na parang they can't believe, this sexy star before bold star is not kissing her current boyfriend. Parang ganon.
Or they're not having
or
sex.
fiancé.
Oo.
Diba? Parang, and they're not having sex. So parang, ako, hindi nyo na maintindihan. Tsaka na lang. Huwag na natin.
Hindi, tsaka naalala ko yung there was this radio show na binabasa yung news item na yon na Uy, Rica, baka hindi lalaki yan, ha? Parang ganun yun.
Oh, that's right! Oo nga, ano?
It's okay. It's
Yeah.
just, I can understand why people would think that. I
Yeah.
mean, it is the common culture now.
We don't really see ourselves as like the standard. Parang we love what God did to us in our love story, but I don't think that everyone should follow
Yeah.
our love story. When they say na parang goals ko kayo, parang you can't make us a goal because you're a very different person. So, I don't know what God has for you. Maybe it's totally different from ours, 'di ba? Kasi hindi naman tayo pareho ng mapapangasawa, 'di ba? So, iba yung path mo, iba yung path ko, stories natin. Si God lang talaga makakapagsabi kung saan yan pupunta.
Yeah.
We went
Physical,
through a
no?
lot din talaga. Nakala ng tao na, naka-marry
15
si...
years
Yeah.
of pure bliss.
And then also like, Rica married a pastor, so they must not have any problems.
Exactly.
Diba? Parang, ay, hindi po ganun yun.
Where she would say to me, ikaw kasi, konting lambing lang, parang gusto mo na mag-sex agad eh. Yun lang naman nakikita mo sa
And
akin.
it's also very sensitive for me, coming from the past that I had.
Ako naman parang, grabe, kala mo naman, lasengko ako. Kala mo naman, di ba, babaero ako. Like,
Parang nawala na talaga ako sa sarili.
so, our marriage was really in trouble.
Nag-isip na rin kami na, ako personally, naisip ko, so ano ba talaga, maghihiwalay na lang ba yung sagot?